I think it's definitely a good thing. I mean, we do like to generate the news ourselves if possible, but obviously you guys are here to help us, connect, find those leads, find new ideas, new technologies, new favourite people to go to and talk to. So I think, I've only been doing this for a year, but I think as far as my relationship developing, I'm starting to find my favourites and maybe my not so favourites, and people I can rely on, who I know understand our brand, our various publications, our magazine, our website, our research. There are certain people when you pick up the phone, you know that they're going to say something useful. I think my biggest frustration with PRs, it may be a sort of procedural PR thing that happens at certain companies where someone's ringing you because they're being told to ring you and they're being told to read off a sheet and they've got the words in front of them, and you can't argue with them, you can't reason with them, you can't meet them halfway. They have to deliver their message and then get off the phone. That sort of thing still seems prevalent. So that's probably my pet hate. It's people who don't listen, maybe because they can't listen, aren't allowed to listen, and they don't have that flexibility. So I guess what I'd say to PR companies is give your people breathing space to get to know journalists, so you can actually start to work together creatively on massaging a pitch into something that may work, rather than just a kind of stonewall response when journalists try to pick holes in your sell. A PR calling up with something maybe I've not thought of, maybe a new piece of technology or a new way of looking at technology, through the lens of a client who happens to specialise in that field, in effect creating a new trend or helping to make a small trend into a bigger trend. That's a great story, because that can be a new thing for us. Computing, we have our IT Hound brand, and computing itself we can consult to get this sort of data. So we do white papers, we do research, we have a massive readership who we can consult to get this sort of data. So if we have a PR on the phone trying to sell a survey of 200 people who said big data is really important to them, for example, we can pick that up ourselves, drop of a hat. So I guess if it's big research about big things, we're interested in that. But if it's a vendor massaging a small amount of figures to fit their product, we're probably not going to be very interested. I think this sounds quite corny, but apart from new technology, like I love people who can tell me what they think technology is going to be doing in 2 years or 5 years' time. I love futurism in that sense. But I think for me, what I enjoy with technology is using it to tell stories. It's using it to actually tell a story of how a company has been affected by what technology can do. I very much like case studies, and I like case studies linked to large companies. If you can find out how the IT works at Warburton's Bread or Birdseye and McDonald's, that's interesting because it's got a kind of human element, I guess. I often tell people it's largely the opposite, and I think after a year or so of doing this now, I'm stick by that argument. In games, there were so few stories and so little news that if a PR was representing a publishing company, you'd have to ring them up to try and get, you'd have to pitch them a case as to why you should have their news almost at points. And now obviously, I don't think I'm alone in saying I'm swimming in emails every day, hundreds of emails a day, pitches from PRs, pitches from vendors themselves. So the relationship is here that we have to be extremely savvy in what we pick out and what we cover.